Hi, it's Dr. Hood. A little thought experiment. Imagine someone told you that a drug was responsible for all forms of cancer. Bowel cancer, breast cancer, womb cancer, stomach cancer, prostate, and responsible for obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. You'd be a bit skeptical about one particular drug causing all these diseases. Yet the same thing can be said about red meat, and no one questions it. You know, those people who have ideological reasons for being against red meat, for being vegan or vegetarian, will make these claims. Red meat causes colorectal cancer or bowel cancer, stomach cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, increases your risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, even dementia. Where in fact the evidence doesn't point to that at all. And there's no way you can make a claim that one type of food, which we've been eating as humans for tens of thousands of years, is suddenly responsible for all these diseases. And no blame is laid upon foods that didn't actually exist 100 to 120 years ago, like highly processed carbohydrates, high fructose corn syrup, highly processed industrial vegetable oils, trans fats. All these things didn't exist 100 to 120 years ago, but yet meat is somehow to blame for all these conditions. And I listened to a podcast recently interviewing a guy called Dr. David Kerfeld, who's a researcher at the US Department of Agriculture, and he sat on the committee, the World Health Organization committee, that decided wrongly that red meat is a possible carcinogen, i.e. it causes cancer. So cigarette or tobacco is a definite carcinogen, and a few categories down they classified red meat as a possible carcinogen. And he was completely against that. He has around 30 to 40 years of experience in agricultural research and the links between diet and disease. And he said when the evidence was reviewed, it was actually equivocal. It was 50-50. Some papers found in favor of an association between red meat and cancer, and some didn't. And even in the ones that did find an association, it was correlation rather than causation. And also, it doesn't take into account other confounding factors. So people who tend to eat more and tend to eat more meat also tend to have other behaviors that are associated with poor health outcomes. So more likely to smoke, more likely to eat more sugar, exercise less, eat more processed meat, eat more processed foods like bread, ketchup, sugary soda, and so on. And he felt, having sat on the panel, that there was a slight bias towards vegan and vegetarian researchers, and that their ideological position was potentially influencing their scientific position, which is quite important. If you have an ideological position that eating meat is wrong, i.e. ethically wrong, that's going to influence your interpretation of the data. Because if a study which showed that meat was beneficial was funded by a beef farmer, then people say there's a conflict of interest there. And definitely somebody who is a vegan scientist, their interpretation of the data, questioning whether there is a link between red meat or any animal product and a certain disease, is going to be biased, is going to be affected. And that's important because we're seeing a great onslaught against eating of red meat, something which we've been doing for thousands of years. And why is that important to you? Why is it important to you, somebody who wants to take control of their health, who wants to get lean, who wants to get fit, who wants to lose weight? It's important so that you have confidence in yourself, that you're making the right choice by basing your diet around animal protein, as well as non-starchy vegetables, as well as healthy fats. But animal protein is key because not only will it help you to burn fat, it will nourish your body. It will help you thrive and not just survive. The aim isn't just to live off the bare minimum protein that you get from plants, which isn't even that great quality. It's actually to thrive, to be energized, to be fit, to maximize your potential. And red meat helps you do that because it provides you the best available protein, healthy fats, micronutrients. So, going back to that hypothetical question, be wary of these scare stories that link red meat or other animal products to a multitude of diseases. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that something we've been eating for so long has suddenly now caused an increase in disease. Whether the farming of it, whether the introduction of hormones, grain-fed factory farming, if that's had an impact, that's something that can be questioned. But meat in itself is nutritious, should be part of your diet, will help you get lean, will help you get fit, and should not be feared because it does not increase your risk of disease or increase your risk of cancer.